Hi guys, welcome to Office. Welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Together in a room with two of the Office Blokes.
Yeah,
it's true.
What happened to Mike?
He didn't have £1.50. That's how much it is to open the door.
I think what it is, since he's moved that little bit further, he's gone on posh now, and he's like in the middle of Timperley now. It's so expensive to drive now with petrol that he don't want to come to work certain days.
Well, he did buy a bigger car, didn't he?
He did.
So
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that'd make a lot of sense.
So I just don't think he can afford the petrol to come to work anymore.
Stop being a tight ass, Mike. No, unfortunately, Mike does have a family emergency that's ongoing, so he may be off for a little bit. We'll see. We don't know how long yet. It's an ongoing situation, but hopefully he's not gone for too long and everything's all right. And also, if he's going to be gone for a while, we'll get some guests in like we did when he was on holiday.
Yep.
It's always off, Mike, isn't he?
Isn't he? Right. Yeah. Told you, more holidays than Santa.
I know. Anyway, right, this is a request. So Cody sent me this.
Cody?
Cody
who?
I don't know his last name, actually. I didn't read it, but it's because my nephew's called Cody. That's why I didn't read anymore. Cody Anderson.
Cody.
So he's on our Patreon. So cheers for this one, Cody.
Yeah.
And this is Jocko Willink, the heaviest flag. He's heard me talk about the fact that I listen to Jocko's podcast sometimes.
That's good. I've never heard you talk about it.
Have you not?
No.
I've sort of alluded to him on the channel a couple of times. He was a Navy SEAL.
Ah, okay.
And
right.
I think he was quite high up. He's a very interesting guy to listen to, but he gets a lot of military guys on his podcast and just lets them tell their stories and then interacts and stuff. And it's really interesting. Some of them are 5 hours long.
Oh wow!
And it could be anything from like a Vietnam helicopter pilot that was downed and then rescued loads of people to like more modern sort of stuff. Really, really interesting guy, but he's motivational. There's a lot of videos of him just talking the way he talks, and then there's some music behind it, and it's like him being fully motivational. But I've heard him talk about his daily routine where he gets up in the morning at like 4 a.m. Straight to the gym. Gets in a workout. But like he trains really hard, and then without eating, then he'll go and surf for a couple of hours. And like he does all this crazy stuff.
Then he'll have fish.
Fish and a rice cake.
Rice cake.
But then he finally eats after he's been up for a few hours. He's already been to the gym. He's been surfing in the sea. And then he like runs multiple businesses, does a podcast, and just one of these people who seems to have endless energy and is an absolute... They don't build many humans like him. He's proper jacked. But anyway, I've not watched this. I don't think, anyway.
No.
But this is Jocko Willink, the heaviest flag. Let's do it.
I watched through my peripheral vision. It's something that I learned to do in the military. I learned to stand at attention and look straight forward, but still see what's going on around me. And I could see. I could see the honor guard take the flag off of his coffin. Their sharp uniforms, their white gloves. I watched their crisp, well-rehearsed movements as they went through their procedures. Without shifting my eyes, I focused back on his coffin. I was still trying to process it all. So much emotion, so much joy, so much sorrow, so much light and laughter and love, so much life. All now boxed up and silent in that wooden casket. Gone. The honor guard continued with their predetermined movements, one fold at a time, precise hands moving like craftsmen. As they carry on, the red and white stripes of the flag are consumed by the blue field with its white stars. The flag is finally folded into a neat, thick triangle. The leader of the honor guard, a second-class petty officer, grasps the flag into his hands. He executes a sharp facing movement, takes a step, and then executes another facing movement. He's now looking directly at me. Our eyes are locked, but expressionless. We both know we have a job to do. He marches forward. He halts just in front of me. I slowly and precisely raise my right hand from my side and render a sharp salute. I pause. I gradually lower the salute and then put my hands out to receive the flag. He moves it forward into my hands. I clench it. The flag is heavy in my hands with pain and grief. I feel the weight, a weight I can barely support as it tears at my soul. He takes one step back and renders a slow, flawless salute. It is my turn now. I execute a right face. I take 6 steps forward. I focus on my breath. I clench my jaw in order to get some control over my emotions before she sees my face. I execute another right face. I am in front of her now. I take 2 steps forward. She whispers a quiet moan of anguish. It is the loudest noise I have ever heard. I stop in front of her, still looking straight ahead. I bend down onto one knee. I look at her. Her heart is broken. Tears are trickling down her face. And yet she smiles at me, as if to say, it's okay. I feel my emotions start to rush to the surface. I want to break down. I want to cry. But there is procedure to follow. And I am a military man, and I know to follow procedure. I then say the words. On behalf of the President of the United States Navy, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation of your loved one's honorable and faithful service. I place the full weight of that flag with all its agony and torment into her hands. She looked down at it and pulled it in close to her chest and absorbed it all. Then she looked back at me. I break protocol. Your boy was my hero, I told her. I loved him, and I always will. She smiled, and she nodded. She already knew that. Her Her eyes returned to gaze at the heavy flag in her arms. I leaned in and gently kissed her on the forehead. That kiss was not only from me. She knew that too. I stood back up and assumed the position of attention. I rendered the proudest salute I could possibly muster. I took one step back. I performed a right face. And I marched off and assumed my position back in the ranks. The guns were fired. The bugle played its solemn notes. And my friend was buried in that sacred place with many of my other friends, our brothers in arms, now together again. And above it all, soaring in the sky, was our flag, Old Glory, bearing upon it the weight of 1,000,000 souls who gave their lives for it, bearing upon it the burden and anguish of mothers and fathers who gave their precious children for it. And yet it flies. It flies, carried aloft by freedom and by the precious memories of those who sacrificed everything to give us that freedom. Please, please, remember what that flag represents and why it flies.
Deep, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's him, I guess, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely, he's just a beast. He really is.
Has to be tough. Then the roles they do for the military. When one of your colleagues or passes away, yeah, it's tough. That's when you see the family there.
Well, I think he was the commander for a whole unit of Navy SEALs, so he had a lot of guys under him, and obviously he was like fought on the front line as well. I think he was quite instrumental in the Iraq War. And you listen to the podcast, and there's a lot of stories that are like they're so harrowing to listen to. They really are.
Yeah, I've got a few military friends, and some of the stories they tell, I just like. Sometimes I say to them, I don't want to know. Yeah, just like, don't tell me.
Is there anything more symbolic, really, than that flag on a coffin? You know, even we're not American, and the amount of images you have of that.
We do the same over here.
I know we do the same. When I think of that, I always think of it being done in the American context. So maybe you just see it more often.
Yeah,
maybe
possibly,
that's what it is.
Possibly, yeah.
But I mean, what a dramatic sort of
I know.
reading as well.
Yeah, it is,
because he's an author as well. Incidentally, I bought one of his books. He's a children's author as well as an adult author, and he's got these books called The Way of a Warrior Kid, and I bought one for Oscar for his birthday. He flicked through it and he asked me what jiu-jitsu was, and then he's not read it since.
Oh, well, thanks for that, Cody.
Yeah, deep one.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.